when I get a studio, where they're like 16, 18 hours. I'm feeding everybody, but we gonna be here. I did a lot of it without really knowing that I was doing the right thing. Like the first studio, right? I think that one I made like $100 grand profit.
CinePacks.
What is up, and welcome to the CinePacks Podcast. I'm Tyler Casey with my co-host Andy Chen. Today we're joined by Mario Visions, a creative owner of Sight Studios. His creative spaces, which rent on PeerSpace and Gigster, include a ton of sets that you guys have definitely seen, some of which a school, a casino, a classroom, and a recently added underground subway station. How's it going, Mario?
Appreciate you guys for having me, bro. It's been a crazy day today.
Yeah.
You said you just got off a set. I mean,
I just literally just got off the set, came straight over here. So
nice.
I was like,
Yeah,
it's been a crazy day. But
appreciate you coming here, man.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, you've been killing it with, especially the studios, just seeing like all the new sets pop up. It's been crazy. What's your latest set is the subway set.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Man, well, that one was crazy. You know what's funny is like every studio I've done, and there was never a plan. So that one, the only plan was like 2 years ago, I wanted to release that, but we didn't know how to build. I don't know what we were going to do, how. It was just like an idea. And then after building the Sight Studio one and the school, I was like, okay, I think we could build it. But it was like a 2-year thing, and then we built it, but it was supposed to only be the inside of the subway. And as we started like building it, and we started building like the elevator to where I was like, you know what, let's expand this. Let's build the hallway, and then let's do this and let's do that. And if you guys know, budget eventually goes too high. And I'm like, what was I thinking? But yeah, it's been like 2 years for the subway, but until now. But even that wasn't like fully planned. Like the outside wasn't planned. The hallway, not really either. It was just like the elevator. I just didn't know how I was going to set it up. So that just happened. But it was like a 2 years worth, like, to finally bring it out.
Yeah. 2 years of actually working on building it, you're saying?
Like just trying to get to like it was in the back of my head. It was always like I had like a mood board. I was like, one day I want to do it. And like the owner where I have the school, he's like, hey, I have another space. And I was like, it's perfect size. And I was like, let me do it. I mean, he gave me a good deal because I'm a good tenant for him. So just kind of worked out.
That's great. Can we pull up the clip at the subway? But yeah, we get some footage up of.
Oh, that's
not it. That's not the subway.
There's the subway. Yeah, I honestly love I feel like the hallway adds so much, like with the tile, the subway tile, the tile on the walls, like really adds a lot. Yeah, that's crazy that you built this all by yourself. Like this was just you, and did you have any other help? Or
that
was
dude right there, John?
Yeah.
He helped me. It's funny, I posted on Instagram, and like a 19-year-old kid actually built that.
Oh, really?
It was a 19-year-old kid.
That's crazy.
And then I got another contractor like towards like the second half because I wanted it done fast. So I reached out to someone else, and he recommended me someone, and that's how it all came about. But basically, that's like I come up with the game plan, and then I just get like the people in place that like, all I knew was like I do the finishing touches.
Yeah.
Like the little things that I know I need, I go pick up, but like I give it to them, like the people that are good at that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a crazy one. That one's like dude, we went like 25 grand over.
Damn.
Over budget. Yeah, that was it's crazy.
I mean, it looks great. It looks amazing.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That was definitely a fun one.
And this is a different look. You said you have these are all different buildings or different locations?
That one's like in the same building, but it's like separate. So it's like mine's, and it's like the fabric store, which is like the owner of that whole place, and then it's the subway. So it's like in the same place.
It's in the same building.
Yeah.
But it's just like a different entrance or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you have the classroom there as well?
Yeah, that's
Can we see the classroom real quick? Yeah, so this one is crazy. This one's super vibrant, and I think my favorite part is really the hallway with all the lockers. I feel like you really killed this look. I feel like it looks like, like just the classic hallway scene you'd see in any type of like, film or classroom.
It looks sick because it's all connected. I feel like you can really shoot like a whole scene where like follow a character walking around, and
you have the office right here, which is like perfect, especially, and you have a locker. You got everything, man.
Bro, like this one was like it was like a scary 3-4 months probably, because once I released it didn't do good for 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
I thought I failed because like when I first saw the hallway, because I had like the first official studio, those lockers I brought those, and I was like a school hallway. And I was looking for a place that has that. I didn't want to build walls because that would be cost. So I found that place, and I was like, this works. So I released it. and dude, it like flopped for 3 to 4 months. I was like, you're like, damn, like I built this whole hallway. I was like, because when I first saw it, I was like, you can make 2 different sets, but they were gonna be small, but you can divide it in the middle.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me go all out. I'd rather go big and I give people the better experience. Because me as a shooter, I don't want to just be, this side. I want to get it 360. So they worked out after 4 months, but I took a hit, like, for sure. That one was like.
Was there something that you did that like got the word out there, or like how did word start picking up? Like how did you?
Just happened, dude. Like, dude, it was like people were kind of lowballing, like, hey, like, can you do it for this outside of Peerspace and all that? And I had to take a hit, and I was like, yeah. It was like I wasn't making anything really, but I was like trying to see, like, is it gonna hit? I think when it started, because I think I released that in December or January, it started hitting summer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was like June basically. So it was like
everyone's out of school.
Yeah, it was. So I guess like people started preparing for back to school. So commercials started coming in, and I was like, dude, this is actually pretty cool. And that's how
I remember the aperture shoot shot there. Was that
was at the beginning.
Oh, okay. So you were like hopeful. You're like, all right, this is gonna hit, and then it
kind of flopped for 4 months. Yeah, I was like,
were you able to recoup investment on that, or is it still?
No, I was able to recoup, but it was 3 to 4 months. I was like, man, like normally when I release though, I always have like at least 4 shoots ready to go to like try to showcase what I can do with it and try to give people like an idea.
Like shoots that you're shooting yourself?
I'll try to bring an artist or shoot some commercial, spec that, or anything really to show them like, hey, you guys can shoot it like this, grab screen grabs, put it on, Peerspace and all that. So
yeah, we do that too. But so we also like bring in like our friends and like other people with different like photographers and stuff like that. People that have different styles and stuff that we can't do ourselves. Like we just invite some people, do some free shoots just to at least get the content out there.
That's what you guys do with every space you guys have?
I think we've done that with every space.
Yeah, and we've done that work because like our Broadway studio, we just remodeled it, and same thing, like we did this big remodel because we haven't changed that set since 2020 when we first opened it. So it's been the same since then. We've changed a few things in and out, but we just did a full remodel. So we added that grid ceiling, we added the elevator that goes into the grid ceiling, and like that circle room and the LED hallway. So we did all that, and then it was just still dead.
Yeah,
we're just like, what are we gonna do? So we did promo, we did a shoot, and it was still like slow. So we're just like let's plan, like let's just schedule a few people, because that's what we've done with all our other studios. We'll just schedule a few friends to just come shoot some content, do a photo shoot, do whatever, and just like get us some behind the scenes. And then I don't know. I feel like I don't know if that's like the key, but like I feel like it.
I also feel like on Peerspace it takes a bit for like the algorithm to catch up, for you to get started getting bumped up, because like when you first post it, you're on like page 2000 or something crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then after a while, like somehow depending on people, how I think it's how many people click on your thing during searches or something, it starts kind of shifting it up. So then you start seeing yourself on page 100, and if it's more popular, it keeps going up. But I think it takes a bit of time for it to kind of do that, I think.
So talk to me a little bit about how you even got into the studio game as your first studio. How did that kind of come about?
Dude, I mean, we were I kind of talked a little bit about it when I got in here, but so the first one wasn't supposed to be Peerspace. It was supposed to be like me personally, because I used to light all the shoots. I was doing like live performances in my backyard of my parents' house. And the issue I was having is I was doing fog, the wind was blowing it. If I tried to do backdrops, the backdrops were moving, and I couldn't practice lighting. But I eventually learned it, but I'm like, okay, I can't do this every time. Take all my gear from my room all the way to my backyard, set it up, break it down at 3 a.m. And I was like, I was tired. I was like, I would love to set something up and leave it like that. So I found like a little studio right by my house, and I was like, dude, this is like a perfect place to create, learn lighting, bring artists, and really showcase the world, like, hey, like I deserve bigger budgets. I was getting $500-$600 budgets. So it was like nothing, right? Like this literally just me. I was still putting $100 or $150 into my friend. So I wasn't really making anything. I started to edit. So it was kind of like a self-investment until I remember like I put those tubes hanging, and I did like a little story, like, oh, I was just excited, and then I got like 5 directors. When are you going to release this? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, this is just like, I'm just like a little, I'm just all excited. Like my first place, it was like it was during COVID. So it was like finally I have an escape from the house.
Yeah.
And I brought them in, and then I put it on Peerspace. I was like, if it gets rented a little bit, that'll be cool, but that's not the goal. And it just blew up like that was the one that, I mean, it was, you know, during COVID, like everything just went crazy with money. So it just blew up. And I was like, what just happened? I couldn't shoot there no more. I couldn't do my YouTube videos. It was just like the craziest thing. I'm like, dude, are you serious? So I got an office after that. But that's really how it came about. I was like trying to invest in myself.
And then so that one has the casino in it now too?
No, that was just like the first one. It was in Monrovia.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you don't have that place anymore?
No, I closed it down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then you move to one that is like more of like a multi-set, right? It has a lot of different sets.
Yeah.
Which sets are in that one?
That one, it's the mini mart, the outdoor bodega, the money room, like the RGB wall, arcade, the strip club, and the casino.
Yeah, the casino's sick. We have a clip of that. But
I actually shot a video, not in the casino, but I shot a video.
Really?
At the spot, yeah.
Which set did you use?
We used the market, or like the outside of it, and then we used the money room. Yeah. The money
okay.
room.
Do you guys have a video?
And the outside too, like, because there's the outside area that's just like nothing.
Yeah.
But you throw some lights in, that looks dope. You know, it's like grungy. It's like just
Dude,
dirt on the floor.
I wanted to make it an outdoor, like a yard, like a jail yard.
Oh.
Like it has the look, but it's the apartments are there. And there was an issue with that, so I'm like
sound issues or something.
Yeah, like music, and like it was, the owner was kind of coming at me, so I was like, I'm just not gonna deal with it.
Yeah, I think we like had to play the music super quiet, like on his phone or something, and he had it in his pocket.
Yeah, it sucks. I saw potential there, but I'm like, dude, I just can't, like, you know. Yeah. And it's not the best area, so I'm like, if I leave weights, probably someone would jump over and take the weights or something. Because that was like my whole, so I was like, I'll skip on it. I mean,
like, stealing weights over a fence would be crazy though. Like, you gotta be strong.
I thought about it too. Yeah, I was like, damn, but you just never know. You know, some of these people are strong. So.
For sure. I've talked to you on the phone a little bit about this, but like with running like certain like your sets, like you say, like you have this strip club, and you say like a lot of people like are trying to book it at like strip club hours, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like, what are some of the challenges with that, and like what, you know, like how have you had to deal with that?
It's just like you're looking at a strip club. Like you will see rappers or just clients, I guess, is in general. Like they'll come. I mean, if it's like a rap video, they will bring the girls, but like before you know it, 10 more people come, 5 more people come. You know, and then 10 more people will come on top, and you're like, dude, it's like 40 people, and you're like, dude, this is like, you never know. Like, you know, you already know. I grew up shooting these type of rappers, and like I grew up in that scene, so like I know one wrong person being there could be a gunshot, like that could be something like that. I don't want to risk that. And the artists that come sometimes, like these A-list artists, they're, you know, they have a bad reputation. I don't want to risk it in my place because it'll shut it down if that was to happen. So we keep it minimal. It's like after, I forgot what time, we 10 and under. Like there's no more than that,
really?
You know, because it's just not, it's not safe.
Yeah.
Like I just want to keep my place safe. We've had encounters like that's bad that we dealt with her. Like, you know, and my girl was in jeopardy, like being in that area. I'm like, she was like, what do I do? I'm like, you know what? Don't walk in. Like just let's see what happens. But you can't walk in. There was like a gun and everything. So yeah,
there was like stuff happening inside
in the moment. Yeah. And
like there was like an argument or
no, it was like 2 artists that don't like each other that ended up there.
Were there 2 separate shoots? Like, was it 2 parts of the studio, or is it just like they just both ended up at the same shoot?
They just it was the same shoot. They just both ended up. Maybe one knew that the guy was there, and he just decided to confront him. But it was like I couldn't step in or anything.
Damn.
I just told her to step away, and like I wasn't there, but even if I was there, I'm like, what do I do? Like this is like, you know, you don't want to get involved in that. So
that's crazy.
it's like crazy things have happened. Like I'm pretty sure there's other ones, but yeah, that's like one of the biggest ones that I remember. Like that can't happen.
But it just got diffused by the end of the night. Like nothing actually.
It stopped after like an hour.
They just argued for an hour.
Literally for an hour, just argued. He had him against the wall, gun pointing. I was like, dude, like I'm just looking at it, like
cameras. Like,
yeah, I was looking, and I was like,
just watching.
I was just I'm like, don't pull the trigger, you know. I'm like, dude, like, are you serious? Like, and my girl, she didn't know what to do. I'm like, stay away. Like that's it, stay away.
Yeah.
Luckily, everything, I guess they resolved it, but. Yeah, it was like they wanted to add time because of the whole hour. I'm like, no, just tell them there's another booking happening.
That's crazy.
Kick them out. Like we can't have that. So, thankfully, yeah.
Was it like LA rappers?
No, I think these 2 were like, I think one was from Miami and the other one was from like probably from LA and just randomly happened to It was like a friend of a friend, and he brought him in. Like what? So I think maybe it was an accident thing, but it was like a crazy.
Because I know there's a lot of like LA rapper like beef or like just like I don't know. Because our Broadway location, our first one, like that's not in the best area either. So like we've had rappers show up for shoots and they're like, oh, I didn't know this was in this hood. I'm not going. I'm not leaving the car, and they just leave. But like, I don't know if the directors like didn't know, or what. But like, I mean, the artist paid for it. They just decided they're not shooting the video anymore, and they just left. So we still got paid, and the director still got paid. So he's just like, whatever.
Damn.
But
have you guys ever had any accident like that? Any crazy?
We never had any like confrontations or anything like that. I think the most we had like Draco do a couple of videos before he passed. Like he did a couple of music videos, but he had a ton of like security and stuff, and they were just like being super careful, super like just making sure nobody that wasn't supposed to be there was coming in. But that was just like, all the guards like had guns and stuff like that, so it was a little
safety.
It was like a crazy scene to see, but I mean, nothing went down though. It was just like, but yeah, they were like kind of aware of like the area they're in and like, stuff like that. But
it was like back to back too. He was there like 2
days,
days in a row
for like two separate videos. One he was a feature on all black video, and the other one was like something else. But there's like two different directors, two different productions. Just happened to book our spot 2 days back to back with the same guy.
If you're a photographer or filmmaker, you should definitely check out CinePacks lens filters. We have lens filters for photographers and filmmakers that offer unique in-camera effects. We have soft filters to give your photos that nice cinematic glow, as well as in-camera effects filters that can really level up your shot. Use promo code LENS15 at checkout and you're going to get 15% off your lens filter order. Now back to the episode.
Well, what made you guys get into this whole thing, this whole studio?
Yeah. I mean, we did it during COVID as well. And I think it was kind of like similar. I mean, we're both also music video directors, shooters, like came from the same background. We just shoot stuff ourselves, like run and gun, like one man band type stuff. And like when we built CinePacks, we started saving some money. And then I think the justification of getting our first place, like I knew I was going to still use it for at least, if I get like 2-3 music videos a month, at least that could cover the rent somewhat, and then we can do Peerspace and see how that goes. But the Peerspace took off, I think, and then we're like, oh, this is actually a viable business. But we kind of lucked out because when we first, we moved into that place and it was just me, my buddy Liam. I don't know if Josh helped out a little bit, but my girlfriend was helping us like construction and stuff. It was just like building these sets, and they're like, okay, like I used to help my dad do construction and stuff. So I know like a little bit of just like basic wall builds and stuff. So I built a dressing room. We built like a little hallway with LED plexiglass ceiling. And then it was just like not that great. We got barely any bookings. And then all of a sudden this random guy comes in. He's like, hey, what are you guys doing in here? We're like, oh, shooting a music video. And he's like, oh, I just moved in upstairs. I was like, oh, what do you do? And he was just like, oh, I build sets for a living. And he was just like literally, after we met him, like 3 days later, he built out this crazy set for us.
Like within like 2 days.
Literally like 2-3 days. I was like, oh, I really want to do like this kind of idea on this side of the room, but we just, we don't really have the experience or like know how to do it. But he was like, oh, I got you. 2-3 days later, it's like fully built out, like the coolest, like literally the sickest thing I've seen. I was like, damn, crazy. Yeah. So we just kind of lucked out in meeting the right person at the right time, and he's been building all our sets for us ever since. Like, we come up with all these ideas, like all these sets here. Alan Stubbs is our production designer, and he's kind of like led pretty much the build. And he has his own team as well. But yeah, I mean, we've been kind of DIY from the start, but now that we have his help, I don't know, it helps out a lot.
They're like called scenic designers, right? Or what's the word for them?
I guess there's different terms and stuff. There's like scenic people. There's like, I mean, he came from a scenic painting background, I think. He used to do like concrete faux walls and stuff like that before he started doing film stuff. But I mean, I think his official title on film sets is like a production designer. So he kind of handles the design of things, and he like delegates.
That's like the head of the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole department. So then he brings on scenics, he brings on set dressers, brings on like I think even prop buyers and stuff like that, like different departments. But I mean, most of the time he knows what he's doing for
Yeah.
Like, so he just does a lot of it himself too. 'Cause especially like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff is like low, try to keep the budget like manageable. So it's a lot of pulling favors and going through Craigslist ourselves, trying to find props and
Yup.
random
That's how
stuff.
it works. You gotta look and claw and hopefully you find the gems.
Yeah, but you do all yours, like all these sets that all these pretty much you've done yourself with just a couple of friends and stuff.
Like I tried hiring, like, you know, I went on Facebook groups, but dude, the prices they were giving me, it was like, it's just, I'm Hispanic, so like we work hard, and I'm like, they're asking for what is it, pre-production?
Oh,
like
cost.
I forgot, and then like the day rate, and then or the day rates plus a pre-production. I was like, what? Like for me, I'm like, what does that include? You just come with a paint and you just look at the wall and leave.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know. I don't understand that, right? And they were charging me for the subway when actually the distressing on the walls.
Oh, okay.
I try finding, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get that. Like there's certain type of material for that, or like not paint, but like, you know, something that does that. And it was like they're quoting me $35,000 to $5,000 for just to distressing.
You know, it's funny because after meeting Alan, like we distress a lot of this stuff ourselves. Literally just black paint mixed with water in a spray bottle. That's all that is.
Yeah, that's what happened. Me and my girl were like, you know what? Forget this. Like, let's just go and I'm gonna go. I think we went to Michael's. And I was like, buy all of them. And I think I only spent $100. You know, all these little things. And then we bought like a little dummy tile. Practice on it.
Okay.
Second try, she got it. And if we would have discounted all the paint, she would have only spent $10.
That's crazy.
And it took her like 3 hours to do it.
So you save yourself $5,000.
Exactly. I'm like, what were you guys charging me? I'm like, I get it. Probably would have been like cleaner. Yeah. But like the camera's not really we're not zooming into that, you know?
Yeah. And it's also going to get beat up. Like that's the thing about a peer space location too, is you have to think about what's going to be durable, you know, because a lot of these people who come in aren't going to care about your space as much as you do. And they're going to bang shit up and,
yeah, like, you know, walk C-stands into the walls, and we got holes and stuff. We got a crazy hole in our brick wall. It's like someone falling into it.
You just gotta make sure it's built right. That's like the number one thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, but you guys been doing this for a cool minute. Yeah, like all your sets have been like a good job. Every time I see them, I'm like, dang, these guys are just doing. But what I respect about you guys is you guys bring good things to the table. Something that I see, like, it's different.
Yeah,
that's not your typical. I'm not that guy. Like, I feel like it's been done, but you guys bring like creative, like things that's just different. And I feel like that's what the market needs.
Yeah.
So I appreciate when people bring that. Cause like for me, it's like, oh, cool. I can, you know, that'll be another space, you know, that I can utilize. It's not like a traditional where anyone can go and you can get that type of look.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely important for us. I think just having unique spaces, that stuff that we can't cause I mean, we shoot videos ourselves and stuff too. So like you can go through peer space and find all these things. Like a lot, there's so many, like there's a ton of hospital sets. That's why, like modern ones too. So that's why we did kind of more like a vintage one that fits like
Where's
our
that one
vintage vibes. We actually just
it's here.
Yeah, nobody's even shot there yet. It's like brand new. And then like pretty much just finding stuff that's like different and unique enough to for it to make sense. And like I think as a business standpoint as well, like if you just do another psych wall or whatever, like there's like 100,000 of them in LA. Yeah, I think it's definitely more worth it to find. I mean, it's also more of a risk, I guess, because nobody else has one.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. Like we've had opportunities recently to open like another studio. Like we had a pretty good deal, but it's just like we didn't have an idea. You know, like there wasn't something that we really wanted to do. There wasn't, you know, we could have just did something super basic, but I don't think we don't even think it would have worked. Like we want to make sure the idea is good enough where it's actually going to work. You know. But also just bringing something new to the table and like innovating a little bit is, you know, which was crazy because we saw you open the Subway set and we were trying to figure out how to remodel our Broadway set. And we were literally like thinking about building a Subway like that following week.
Yeah.
Like the next week after you posted it, and we saw you post it and I was like, holy fucking shit, this is crazy. So like I sent it to Andy. I was like, all right, we can't do this. Like, we got to go back to the drawing board, but like, we're glad it was you who did it and you killed it. Like we weren't even thinking about the hallway or anything like that. The hallway was such a good idea. That was like, it adds so much more, like, cause honestly, it's crazy.
We wouldn't have had space to build out that much. Like a hallway, the elevator, you know, everything, and the subway. Like we were just thinking about doing the interior of a subway, just because I feel like that's something that LA doesn't have. Like there was a place that had it like a while back, but I think they shut down, and now there's not really anything else like that.
Oh, there was a
besides
subway
yours.
already in.
There was at another stage. I forgot what the stage was called, but I was following them, and they had a subway, and a couple of people shot there, and then they just took it down.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, that's good.
but now I think you're the only one.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I was like, oh damn, I didn't know. I know there was like there's probably somewhere else, but just not. At least
No,
I
they
didn't
did it like
find
I think it was like 3 years ago when they had it. But it's been a little bit since they've taken it down. But I mean, is all these been pretty like beneficial for you though? Like meet. I know because for us when we opened this most recent one, just like the people that we've been meeting, like networking has been growing a lot. You know, like just meeting like bigger artists that's been coming through, or like bigger directors and stuff like that. Like, do you feel like that's benefited you at all, like, from like being a shooter and director and DP yourself?
So at first that was like the second, so not the Monrovia studio, but the side studio one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I can be there, I can host, I can meet people. But after doing it for a whole year, and for me it was like that one changed my life, because like as far as money wise, like
Yeah.
it swallowed all my money. Like I never had that much money, and then I just threw it there. It was like a crazy dumb idea of mine. Like every time I look back, I'm like, I can't believe I actually did that.
Yeah.
And that was a goal for a year, for me to just like, network with people that come in. But after the year, it was like taxes, and I was like, dude, all that money I kept, I could have just gave my friends the money, lowered my taxes, and then with that time, I could have been utilizing it to do other things outside. I was more of like trying to get the money back that I spent.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but realistically, it was kind of like dumb once taxes came, because I was saving so much, and I was still spending, but it was too much that I was earning, that I should like, you know what, I should have gave it to my friends. So the following year, I'm not there anymore. Like if I'm there, it's because like I have nobody, and I'm like the last resort. But
Sure.
I try not to be there. But that was the goal. But
you didn't think it wasn't actually like helping in like career wise and other aspects?
No, it was just kind of like, I was meeting directors, I was like linking with them, but it never like really, I didn't see an increase as far as like what, I met probably like 3 people max out of that whole year I was like there, that I could say like I worked with them. Yeah. But majority of people just come and shoot. And I don't like to really like talk to them or bug, more of like, I guess, respecting their time.
Sure.
But at the end, I try to like talk a little bit, but just it's never really worked. So I was like, you know what, like, of course, taxes came, and I was like, yeah, I need to let this go. Yeah. So that's when I walked away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a good amount of just like friends kind of site repping and stuff for you now?
Yeah, we have 4. It just sucks now, because now when I'm shooting, I need them.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in that dilemma. I'm like in that problem where like, okay, who else can I hire? But it sucks because you guys know it's like there's no time. It's kind of like when it gets booked. Yeah. So who's really going to open up the space or the time, So it has to be someone that goes to school, or someone that just, it makes sense for them. Yeah. But yeah, that's like the only downfall with it's like hiring people and how to handle that.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely a tricky one, because you can't like just go up to people and be like, hey, I got a job for you, but not really. It's only exactly. Sometimes.
Yeah. Like you'll be at the back end, because like my girl, she takes care of it, but if I'm on a shoot, then it's available. But it's like, it's not every time.
Yeah. I mean, we make it work because a lot of the people that we bring on are also like freelancers who are like either doing like grip or gaffers or actors and stuff who aren't really working every day, and they're also on a freelance like schedule. So when there is bookings, and they can like come in, it's just kind of like if they're free or not. But yeah, it's definitely hard to find people that have a flexible enough schedule to handle that.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle too, because like just everyone's schedules and whatnot, especially when you have multiple studios, because you have, how many locations do you have now? Is it like technically
2?
Yeah,
technically 2. It's like, basically.
So you have 2 shoots happening at the same time in that, but it's one building though, right? Or
it's one building, but like completely separate. But the strip club and the other one, that one's just technically one. Yeah, basically all wrapped in one. So that one will just have one, if anything, but the other one's like they could both operate. Yeah.
And how often are you shooting your own stuff there?
So I have like a goal of mine, and right now I'm trying to do like every 2 weeks to shoot like a full 8-10 hour day and just bust out content, like spec ads.
Cool.
So I'm trying to like 5 days a week post. So I'm trying to utilize like every 2 weeks personal content, or 2 weeks personal content, and then the next 2 weeks spec ads. Yeah. And I'm just trying to keep it going. That's like a self goal of mine. Just try to discipline myself to get that going.
I mean, so what's the kind of the ultimate goal with doing that? Like, are you trying to do commercials and stuff too, like by doing the spec ads and stuff, or
no? Yeah, for sure I would like to like get jobs in that area, like showcase like I can do it, even though I'm still learning. Like I'm like, man, I really want to get like it's worked. I've gotten a few jobs already, like in the restaurants, so it's been working. But just overall, like experience other areas, like understand lighting, like because everything's different, you know, like softer lighting, or I mean, there's just so many different ways. Understanding the business side of that, because you got to charge like their budget's there, right? So it's like, how do you charge right? Like I'm used to like most of my music video budgets, like just for production, is like 2,000. Like total budget is like 5.
Yeah,
it's not much I can work with that, right? And in these commercials, it's like 5,000 for production. And it's not even like hard work. So it's like a whole different thing. I'm like, am I charging like too much? Like this is, but I have people telling me like, no, like that's kind of, you're actually charging too little still. I'm like, okay, like I don't know this market. So, I mean, realistically, I would just want to be like a content creator, because I got into filmmaking to have fun. I'm not really savvy in the business side of that. I just love that. I love doing that. So I'm never going to be good on the business side. I choose it more of like, that's a good opportunity, or not even that. Maybe it's like, that's a good idea. I want to be part of that visual, but it's not really like money wise. I don't really put that in effect, and that's where it holds me back. So I realized that's like where Peer Space came in. I was like, this is more business. Okay, cool. I can separate that, but filmmaking is fun. So I think that's why I'm a bad business person on that side. I just love it too much, and I let that get in the way.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad way of like, I don't know. I've been kind of just like thinking like, as long as you kind of follow, I don't know. I'm big like follow your instincts kind of guy. You know, I feel like I'm not great. I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't say I'm not good at business, since we've like built this out and we've been doing pretty successful like business stuff. But I feel like, I mean, our like accounting isn't great. You know, like we're just like very like DIY. Like I still haven't paid my taxes this year. Like it's pretty bad. But I don't know. Like it's just, as long as you're following like what you think is like, I don't know, I just like stuff that I'm passionate about, stuff that I have fun doing, and stuff that I just like instinctively feel is like good or like beneficial for me. That's what I'll do, I guess. And that's kind of how I've like directed most of like my career, and even with a lot of the stuff with CinePacks and stuff, even though we're not like the best like at like actual like official business kind of things, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like we just make it kind of happen.
We're just gonna. It's like a very DIY attitude, I think. But however we
sometimes we're just like, fuck it, like let's go out. Like this space, I don't know. We just kind of looked at it, and like we're just like, we have a small LED wall. Like it'd be cool if we got one we could pull cars in front of. And Josh kind of knows some stuff about virtual production.
Yeah, like, we got all this without even like diving in. Like
we never even tested it once. Josh was like, I think I can make it work, and like.
We literally got like we leased the building, we bought the LED wall, and it wasn't until the day before our grand opening we figured out how to actually like do the virtual production for it. And then we're like, fuck, we figured it out.
We did.
But it was at that point we're like, we fucking spent all this money, we have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was crazy. That was probably like the worst anxiety I had like the first week we got the studio.
I mean, I didn't really have anxiety.
I had horrible anxiety. But I was like, fuck, why'd we spend all this money? But then it's been crazy. Like even just like when we got to meet Jamie Foxx and all that shit was like, crazy.
That was a crazy moment.
It just felt like surreal. Like once everything was like, even just after the first party, like when everything came together. So
yeah, you just put a lot of money into this. That's the crazy part. That's the scary part, right? It's always like financially, like, are you doing the right thing? Like, you know, you could lose it all right away. Like, that's the biggest fear.
Yeah. I mean, but part of it too is just like, are you going to regret not doing that? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I feel like that's what, like, even like recently, like we were talking, and then that's why we're doing these podcasts again. And like at the same time throughout today, we had like a whole team. We were filming content on the other side. We're starting like a YouTube series. And we're reinvesting money into that. So, I don't know. Just certain times, like we feel like it's time to reinvest and just kind of like, you know, put money back into the business and like, you know, give back at the same time.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Didn't know if you knew this, but CinePacks actually has 3 studio locations in Los Angeles. If you're a filmmaker, photographer, and you're looking for a studio space, look no further. CinePacks is here. We have one location in South LA that has multiple music video sets, has a small LED wall. We have an entire vintage house in East Hollywood. We have a large LED wall studio in North Hollywood as well, with tons of standing sets. You can check out the studios at cinepacksstudios.com or check us out on Instagram at CinePacks Studios. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
what I
I've been seeing you doing the YouTube as well. Talk a little bit about that and what are your goals with the YouTube?
with YouTube. It's kind of sucks because like it doesn't do good, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's a missing piece in the community as far as like the lighting and all that's already been done. It's people do it all the time. I'm always gonna do that, but like financially, I talk to a lot of creatives around the people I meet or just talk to them. They're all lost. Every time I tell them about business side, they're lost. They're just creating, but then financially, taxes. Like, I'm not the best at taxes, but I learned a lot. Like, I had to learn it because I messed up a lot. I had to pay a lot, so I had to figure this out, accounting, and all these things. And I feel like there's so much value that I can give to these, creatives. Like, they don't understand. It's not just taking your money. You also got to self-invest in yourself. Whether that be just like shooting your own content and putting $3,000 into models, studio locations, whatever the case may be. And it helps your business. Like, that's a write-off, right? So you can technically claim less at the end of the year. So it's just trying to figure out that system. And I did a lot of it without really knowing that I was doing the right thing. Like, like the first studio, right? I think that one I made like $100,000 profit.
Yeah.
I threw all that into a second studio before I guess December hit or whatever. I didn't know what I was doing. And then the tax was like, oh, you don't have to pay nothing or nothing. Nice. I'm like, oh, if you would have kept that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't know. Yeah. So then like the following year for the school one wasn't supposed to happen. That one was more of like my accountant, like she hit me up. She's like, hey, you have $30,000 in your bank account, right? I was like, why? She was like, you're going to pay that in taxes. I was like, what are you talking about? Damn. I was like,
unless
no,
you spend it
let me go get a studio.
Yeah.
And that one was more of a write-off. And at the same time, self-investment. I was like, it's another studio for me personally. Like that one I was thinking maybe have a YouTube studio, podcast place, like just be my own space. Make a set or two, but have a location for me on the side.
Nice.
And of course, it didn't go that way. I just like, you know what, let me just do this other route and let me just make it a pure space thing. But that one was literally to fight the taxes. But at the same time, I was looking, but not really. Because it was like,
put a little fire under you.
Yeah, I was like, no, there's no way. Like, I'm not paying that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, of course, I spent some money too. So I'm like, I'm not really like gonna pay maybe the 30, but yeah, I'm gonna pay a lot. And I'm like, I can't have that. I wasn't financially disciplined like the first 3 years into it. Yeah. I had to kind of learn. And, having my dad being like a smart person, like, he's just a hard worker, but he's always like, he just told me taxes, you don't play with them. You pay them and you just take care of that. And because like the IRS will come for your ass, so I was like, okay, so lesson learned. So
is that something you do actively every year now? Like this next year, are you gonna build another studio at December?
That's, what, it's hard. Like, I don't know if I'm done. Like, I think I would love to invest with someone else. It's tiring. Like, it's me. And yeah, my girl helps me, but it's technically we're one, right? It's one income. So it's like, it's very tiring to have to do it constantly with my money. Kind of posted it on my YouTube. I'm posting next week, but like, dude, I just bought a house 6 months ago or 8 months ago. Oh, wow. Almost lost it. Almost lost the cars, everything I own. I lost it because the investment I did with the subway. So it was like the house and then the subway. So you're talking about like, dude, I put 20% on the house. Then I put the subway. It came out of nowhere, like that studio. The owner was like, hey, I have a space. Yeah. I was like, really, dude? Like I just got a house and like, but I know it's like, it's bugging me in the back of my head. Like, you have to do it. I wasn't going to. My girl's like, I'm going to hear you complain that you didn't do it. You better do it. And I'm like, but financially, like, and I just kind of wrote it down. I was like, yeah, this is my budget. And sure enough, we went way past that. And I went broke. Damn. And I didn't have like nothing in my bank account. And I was like, dude, I was just like scared. I started looking at Home Depot trying to apply. I was like, I used to work at Home Depot. Yeah. Let me work overnight. Like, let me figure this out. Like, dude, it was scary. And like, I wasn't getting booked either on my job. So like, it was a major hit. Like, and I'm the type of person, like, I like to have 6 months in advance, like to protect myself. Sure. You just never know, rainy days. So that was like a moment, like, yeah, like everything flipped. But dude, it was like the scariest moment. I didn't spend no money. I wasn't going out. Couple noodles, like I was literally dude, I was being very disciplined. I was like, dude, like it's not like I blew my money on stupid things, but
it's an investment. But it's like,
you overexpended yourself
like
a little bit.
The house wasn't. I didn't want to get it. It was like because it just takes your money. There's no money coming in from it, right? So I didn't want to get that, but it was more of like, it was a self-investment in the fact that I could have like those 3 big ass rooms, and I was like, okay, YouTube studio. The other one could be like a mini product studio set for me. big yard. Maybe one day I can convert it into pure space. I don't know. Maybe I'll move out of this and rent it out. That was like my whole mindset, but it was it's not really like, it doesn't have any potential. It was like just a good little place, good area.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, I was mad at the same time. Like, why did I put my money in this? Like, dude, this is just taking money from me every month, you know?
Yeah.
I was kind of mad, but you know, my dad did tell me, he's like, yeah, but if you want to sell it tomorrow, you get your money back. That 20% you just gave, you get it back. And I was like, you're right. Yeah. So it wasn't actually bad. It's kind of just sitting there and accumulating, you know, with equity and all that. So I was like, yeah, actually, you're smart. So
Nice.
In a way, that kind of made me feel good. I was like, you're right. Because I was told I should just kept renting. I was like, dude, all that down payment stays with me. And I'm not in this hole that I'm in, you know. He didn't know how deep I was. Dang. But if he would have known, he'd be like, what were you thinking? You know, like, but I trust myself. Like, if I got to put the work in, I'm going to put the work in.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
But it was all worth it in the end. Like, now, you know, you don't regret any of that.
No, I don't. It was just like scary, of course, you know. Like, I tell everyone, like, every time I try to open up a studio, once like okay, we're going to get the papers, we're going to send it to you in emails to sign it, I start questioning life. I'm like, babe, should I do it? Like, are you sure you want to look over it? Like, I get scared, bro. Like,
scary.
As much as you see, I might be doing all these things. Every time it's about to happen, I question life. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? You know, I hear a lot of stories where like one bad one can like change, like, you know, mess everything up. So that's the biggest fear.
Yeah.
So it's never fun.
I think it's a natural thing to have that fear at the same time, but I also think it's a healthy thing at the same time, because if you don't have that and you're just going in blindly and not second guessing yourself, or just, you know, really analyzing it from every standpoint and like really weighing the pros and cons of what you're doing, you know. I feel like if you're not doing that, like I remember it also does feel good, like bouncing back from that at the same time. Cause like we took on some debt when we opened the studio. We didn't realize how much we would actually have to, remodel. So we opened like 2 credit cards with like 0 APR.
Maxed that shit.
We maxed them out. It was like the first time we've ever, but it was like, it was like, oh yeah, we did a loan through our Shopify too.
We emptied our savings.
Yeah.
It
was crazy. Yeah. We went all in, and like, it was scary because we're just,
I knew
like,
it was going to work. I
knew it was going to work, but it was crazy how it worked and the way it did, because we didn't have the video wall. We were banking on getting the video wall built up like in the first week we got this place. We painted all this black, and we're like, okay, like we're going to have the cheapest big ass video wall for $150 an hour. It's going to go crazy, right? We didn't have the video wall up and working for like 2 or 3 months.
Probably longer than that. We got the lease in like February. We didn't open it. We didn't actually, we couldn't actually use it until
like May or June. Yeah.
Were you guys still paying monthly?
Yeah, we were still paying rent. Yeah.
We paying rent.
That's tough.
So what we did is we knocked out the vintage side, and honestly, the vintage side got so poppin'.
Because actually it's funny because it got popular because of a room that already existed here that we didn't even renovate. We didn't even touch.
We just threw a mattress in it, and it has like this just ugly wood paneling. You've probably seen it.
I think I've seen it,
Yeah,
everybody
and
loves
it just
that room.
got booked like crazy. And that, honestly, I think it almost covered rent like the first month. That's and crazy. Just that vintage side. And then so we did the motel. And then while the video wall was not being built,
we couldn't build it because
so we were able to
power wasn't. Yeah, just for the audience that
we were able to do the Tokyo side. So like our site, our Alan, he was able to help us build the Tokyo side. He just had a kid, but he lives close by, so his wife let him come build Tokyo. So
how long did this place did it take for like to finally be open to?
Work? I mean, it was from February to June is when we opened it.
Like even the other side was that one done at least before or no?
We probably had. We had Tokyo done, and we had maybe like, I don't know, 4 rooms on that side.
But that's in June.
In June, yeah. And then the video wall finally got built in like May, after we got all the power stuff. We figured out how much power we needed, and we had to actually install a new transformer, all this crazy stuff that we didn't anticipate. And then everything kind of like settled. But by June we could open. But like half the rooms on the other side were just empty rooms. And then after we kind of got people started booking us and building sets in some of these empty rooms, and then we someone did it was like a Sleeping with Sirens like band music video, did like a club with a stage in one of our rooms. And we're like, oh, let's just do that. And people are doing that anyways. Like they're coming in with their own set dressing and building their own thing. So then we kind of just eventually
we did the bar. We
eventually built all the.
I saw that. Yeah.
Finished all the rooms, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It That's
Yeah.
like a pro-
It's
I try
crazy.
I try to get it done in a month.
That's great. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
this is
Ideally,
obviously huge, so
if we
it's
could,
kind of.
Yeah.
would-
I don't think that's possible, but
We did a couple vintage sets in a month, but yeah, this was
like the motel one we did ourselves, and we just got some wallpaper, painted it, half of it green, and then threw some.
that one was pretty
furniture.
popular though too. We did that one ourselves, and yeah. You started building that chimney too. That was
I
fucking
built
hilarious.
the chimney, and that's
It was hella
kind
crooked.
of bad.
yeah,
Got some like brick, like fake brick from like Home Depot, and just
started
built this
doing
whole
went to
thing.
work, but yeah.
those crazy moments, huh?
Yeah.
it's
Those
crazy.
are fun, stressful, but are you guys also like when you guys open it, you guys here for hours or like? Because when I open up when I get a studio,
Mhm.
where they're like 16, 18 hours. Like I tell all my people, like
Yeah.
the 3 people that I have, get ready. We're 16 to 18 hours. We're gonna be here.
Yeah.
I'm feeding everybody, but we're gonna be here. We're
Yeah.
not done, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I try to get it done in 2 weeks. I'm like, we're not sleeping. Like I try getting other people for the subway,
Yeah.
and I was like, when do you want it done? I was like, 2 weeks. They're like, what do you mean 2 weeks? It's like 2 weeks. They're like, no, can we get a month? I'm like, no, because you're gonna charge me more.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I know it can get done in 2 weeks. So then it was funny. It's like then John kind of knew how to build from building my studios, but he didn't. So then the 19-year-old kid came in and he was like, easy. He's like, so what if I finish earlier? I was like, if you finish earlier, you get paid the same. So it's even better for you. He's like, say less. And this little 19-year-old kid's just going there doing all these things. I'm like, I even told John, I was like, you got to step up your game, bro. This little 19-year-old kid. I mean,
teenage energy.
he taught me because like, dude, you don't find people really like that are hardworking as much.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw this little kid, I was like 19 years old and this was working like if I had a gun behind his head,
Yeah.
like keep
that's
working.
crazy.
You know, I was like, dude, this guy is just like, and I told him, I was like, dude, you taught me like, I need to step up my game, like keep that energy because that hunger because it's going to take them far.
Yeah.
You don't find people like that. Like I'm very big on like people that work hard. So when I found that, I was like, dude, if I have somehow some job for you, best believe I'm going to get your ass.
Yeah.
Like, I need that energy. Like it's contagious.
Yeah. So that's
So-
like a close collaborator with you now, like the kid.
Yeah. Like anything, like even when the owner needs something done, like
Mhm.
right away I give him his number and like, you know, I try to look out for him. I was like, dude, you did so much for me. Like, bro, like I even gave him like an extra. I was like, bro, you finished it and you kept working. You never had it. Like you worked. So like if it was your place, I was like,
Yeah.
so I gave him an extra bonus on top of it. I was like, bro, like that's just like, thank you. Cause now you're allowing me to basically, I always tell people, if you give me an opportunity to make money fast or give myself an opportunity to make money fast, I'm gonna appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put money in your pocket extra. I'm not gonna say that, but I always have it in my back. I was like, who's hungry?
Yeah.
And the ones that are hungry are gonna get fed.
Yeah.
And I always look at it's because it's rewarding, you know. It
Yeah.
makes them feel like, oh, you know, he's a good guy and he's taking care of me. And so I try to make sure I don't burn bridges with those people because they're valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't find too many people that work. I feel like we kind of find Josh like that. He's like probably one of our hardest working guys
Yeah,
that
he's
helped
fucking
us
crazy.
build a lot of just everything that we've been
Just
doing.
the whole empire.
Yeah.
He started with the digital assets. He was Andy's roommate, and
Yeah.
then
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I
And
first
then-
moved to LA, a roommate, he was my roommate, and like, yeah, he was doing like 2D animation stuff. We started hiring him to do like packs and stuff for our website, but now he like literally runs the studio essentially, and does all the Unreal Engine stuff. So
Yeah.
He came in handy.
he's
Yeah.
crazy. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, what should we be on the lookout for? What do you have coming up? Yeah, and then anything you want to plug.
Man, if there's anything, what do I do? Like, I just live day to day. But the only thing for sure is, like, I'm just going to be busting content.
Yeah.
And it's more of, like,
Instagram.
YouTube. Like, it's just, I never went all in on them. Even if they're not, I got to stop. Because I've done so many videos that never got put out. Like, they're on, if you go to, like, if I was showing my YouTube, there's, like, probably, like, 20 videos that never got uploaded.
Bro, just schedule them.
Because it was, like, I was hard on myself. Like, no, this
Yeah.
ain't good enough. This ain't good
Mhm.
enough. And, like, it hurt me, obviously, like, and then, like, just before you know it, you just stop posting, and then, like, you start getting bugged. But it was excuses I was making. I was like, dude, I went all in on these studios, and look how they turned out.
Yeah.
I went all in on everything I've done. The only things I have in is social media and YouTube. Every time I want to do it, after, like, 3 posts, I disappear. Like, I'm gone. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, you know.
It's hard to keep up with it. Like, it's a
Especially
whole
when you get no
discipline, for
views.
sure.
Like, you know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it bums you sometimes. Like YouTube, I definitely don't look at the views. I don't care what it gets. I'm like, dude, I'm just posting because I want to. The goal with it is, and it worked out actually. YouTube was always a platform for me to post because I'm an introvert person. Like a lot of people say it's hard to. I'm like, no, I really don't like going out or talking to people.
Sure.
So I did that to get creators to reach out to me. And I met a lot of people. They came to LA. They hired me for Gaffer. And like that was the goal, to meet creators, because I'm not going out to places to meet creators, right?
Sure.
Like I don't go out and network. So my best way is like, well, I'm at home. Let me make some content and hopes people come or people live in LA and I get to meet them. Like that's like the best way, because I'm not the best at like just going to people and talking to them and building a relationship. I suck at that. I'm very like quiet. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And that's it. Like, I try to like just respect people's times and whatnot.
Okay.
But
so how much content are you going to be posting every day then once you start doing this, or is it
5 days a week?
5 days a week.
One YouTube video a week.
Wow.
And
that's a lot of work. That's
for,
a lot.
yeah. It's 6 months. And it's just like, it's just a big goal that I have. Like if I can do that, well, I'll see where it takes me after that. And yeah, maybe a studio, maybe not. Like I don't see it anytime soon, just because like it's
a lot of work.
What I had to spend, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. But as of now, yeah, this is like my only goal. It's like just post content and just have fun doing it. Like take me back to the old days. It's not always about work. So and reinvest in myself. Yeah.
Sick.
Dope.
Awesome. Yeah. People follow you on Instagram and check out your YouTube, right? That's the main places people should find you.
Yeah.
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 Sick. We'll link it all down in the show notes.
For sure.
Sick. Before we wrap, you have advice for any creatives maybe trying to get their own space or anything? Last words of advice?
Don't do it for the money. Do it for the love of it. If money comes when you do something you love. Like if you chase the money, what happens? Things go wrong, you get frustrated. But if you love it, you're going to put the work in. You're not going to stop. You're going to keep doing it. You're not going to let money stop you or get you mad, right? You're just going to be doing it and it's going to come. So don't ever do it for the money. The most successful people I've met have done it from passion and love, not for, I want to get the money. Like I always tell people, I hate the word chase the bag. It's like, dude, no, just do what you love. I've been doing what I love and it just came. It wasn't like I went for it, that's never been the goal. So that's what I'll tell all creators, do it for the love.
Fire. Sick.